Good morning. So I'm Lauren Mathena, so you'll have to hear from me twice this morning, so I apologize in advance, but I get to talk to you first about the SOVA Innovation Hub. So how many of you guys came in this morning and saw a big construction site on your left if you were coming from that direction? Anybody get to see that? Yeah, nice. So if you haven't seen it yet, I encourage you to check it out on your way out. You ready? So I went through this presentation as a who, what, when, where, why, and how, and would have moved the why to the first if I had gotten here in time to edit my slides. But starting with the who, MBC and Microsoft have partnered to build the SOVA Innovation Hub. MBC is Mid-Atlantic Broadband, which for those who aren't familiar is a 501c4 not-for-profit public utilities provider. It was created back in 2004 and built a 1,900-mile middle-mile fiber network. That's what you see there on the left. So if you didn't know about MBC, now you know a little bit. I think everyone is well aware of who Microsoft is. Next. Getting a bit more personal, MBC is also a 19-person company that's here in Halifax County. So I have Daniel Lloyd and Liz Smith with me here today. So 3 of those 19 folks, plus we have a 12-member board, and so several of our board members are here as well. On the other side, you see Microsoft, which Jeremy's not the only Microsoft employee in our region, but he's their community outreach person as the TechSpark program manager. So Jeremy, if you'll raise your hand. Thank you. So he's really my partner in crime as we dig into all of the programming that can happen at the SOVA Innovation Hub. I'm not sure why I'm the only one up here right now, though. So what is the SOVA Innovation Hub? So first and foremost, it is a building, let me back up. First and foremost, it is a 501c3. So that's important. That is a new entity that's been created. Microsoft can give to a 501c3, so that is a wonderful way to bring more investment into our region. So secondly, then, it's a building. So it's a 15,000 square foot building that is going to be a $5 million investment by MBC into downtown South Boston. So those from here in Halifax and South Boston, I know are very excited to see this new construction happening. I'm from Danville, and so seeing the construction and all of the renovation that's happened there over the past 10 and 15 years, it's been transformational. MBC is hoping that this will help to spur that same type of change here. So excited to see it go up over the next year. Go back one more. The most important part is that the SOVA Innovation Hub is a collaborative, and so it includes folks from around this room. Many of you have already been a part of it, and we hope that everyone here will be part of it. Thank you. So this is just a bigger picture to see what the building will actually look like. It's going to be 2 levels. The second level will be the new home of MBC's corporate headquarters. So we will be moving from where we are now at the Southern Virginia Technology Park, where the Halifax IDA is located. So that gives them more space to fill with new businesses coming in. And we'll be in downtown, walking distance to multiple coffee shops, which is a top priority for me. So thank you to MBC for making that move. The first floor is going to be the community space. So that's going to be the place that should be open at least 6 days a week. And we're working on hours and logistics and details, but we want it to be a place that is welcoming to the community. We want it to be an intersection of business and education. We're not trying to do workforce development like our partners just a couple blocks away at the Higher Ed Center. Instead, we're working with them and others on how we can make this intersection type place come alive. Next. Thank you. So these are some of the interior images. These are always subject to change, I think. So the top photo is what the conference room would look like on the second floor. That would be MBC's conference room, but just like it is now, it would be open for different partners to use as needed. On the first floor would be the coworking space, and then the lobby area. And I guess there's multiple photos of the coworking space here. You see workstations and the kitchenette. So the big question is when. We did do this wonderful photo op. You see that with the sign at the corner of the construction site. The process feels like it has been long. Back when I first interviewed with MBC in early 2018, Tad told me that there was the idea and the dream of this building. I certainly had no idea what that would come to mean, but later in 2018, we took advantage of the GOVA Virginia Region 3 feasibility study option for a grant, and so with that, or capacity building grant, and we have conducted a feasibility study, which is still in process now. So from that time in 2018 through present, we're working on programs. Back in April 2018, the work that we had done to that point enabled Microsoft and MBC to commit, and the partnership was publicly and nationally announced. And so Southern Virginia was spread across the national network through Microsoft PR. And so that was some good news from our region out into the world. Continuing on, we hope to open in late 2020. So let's all hold our local contractors to that. This is what the site looked like back in October 2019. And next photo is what it looks like, or what it looked like a few days ago. And so that continues to change. I think that they should be pouring the footings this week, so that may start to change more quickly now. Here is, well, let me back up and say that an earlier part of prepping the site was taking down an older building. And so you'll see the benefits of that in an adaptive reuse of infrastructure. So the building came down. There was a lot of rubble. One of our other 19 MBC employees made good use of that and gathered some of those bricks. So engineering skills at work, yes. So here is the kind of bird's eye view of the site. It is large enough actually for 2 of these buildings, and so we're starting with 1, and then perhaps down the road there'll be need for investment in a second. The map on the other side shows you where we are in relation to the Higher Education Center, which is just next door from where we sit today. So that's the bottom right, and then on the one that's in the middle shows the location of the Higher Ed Center's R&D Center. And so again, we're not trying to be a redundant facility, but try to build kind of a campus of innovation here in South Boston. Maps. Man, I love maps. So we've already seen a couple. Here's another one for you. So color coding this one, the dark blue are the 5 counties that are officially Microsoft TechSpark's Southern Virginia region. So we can all argue over what is Southern Virginia and what is South Side and so on. But for this definition, it's dark blue. The lighter blue is the counties that are in Region 3. So you've got dark blue plus light blue equals Region 3, and then the other counties around represent the ones that are also in our part of the Tobacco Commission region. So that might not make any sense to you. I'm sorry for stumbling. But for MBC, it's important because we ultimately serve the Southern Virginia region of the Tobacco Commission. This project is funded through GOVA Virginia Region 3 and in partnership with Microsoft TechSpark. So it starts to make a little bit of sense. And then the color coding shows you where the teal dot is the Microsoft Data Center location next door in Mecklenburg. You'll see the green dot is the location of the SOVA Innovation Hub here in South Boston. The orange dots represent our known program partners so far. And then, of course, we continue to look at other organizations that can partner and have some sort of relationship to the facility here in South Boston. So why? And this is really where we start. We're trying to encourage innovation and transformation, trying to help ourselves and our business and our education communities to move past our current challenges and to really start to implement that vision of a much brighter future. And so the real why should be the photos of the students that Tammy was just showing us. But we look at these photos here as the different sectors that drive our economy, from technology, healthcare, as we've talked about, manufacturing, and agriculture. And so we see technology as being a driver in all of the industries that are part of our economy. So it's been mentioned already, we're not sure where healthcare fits in, whether it's a traded sector or not. We know that technology is going to drive innovation in healthcare, so we've included it as we look at how we can explore and drive innovation. We want to promote digital skills and employability. That is kind of the tagline of TechSpark overall, is to do that and to spur economic opportunity here in Southern Virginia. So part of the feasibility study was to do an economic impact study with Mangum, and so the numbers here show you the estimated one-time pulse with a ripple effect for the TechSpark service area, plus the counties that were in that black border. So again, going back to that map, these numbers trace to it. I know I've read a bunch of economic impact studies, and they're always estimates, and so take these numbers for what they are, and then we'll have real numbers for you as we progress. The how is, well, Microsoft and MBC are providing the funds, and so that's the most important thing, is that it's paid for. And so this is not a project that has public dollars outside of this planning portion. So those two companies then are going to be the founding board of the SOVA Innovation Hub 501c3, which is going to allow them both to invest funds into that 501c3 to help implement and empower programs through our partners. Looking at the floor plan of the first level, the area in the circle is what we're calling the Microsoft Experience Center. And so Randy mentioned earlier that he got to take a field trip at the Boynton Data Center, and that's no longer allowed. And so the Microsoft Experience Center is going to be a destination for field trips, but also for the public and people like us to come and see the type of technology that Microsoft is able to deploy, and also to help demonstrate the types of technology that kids can work with for jobs of the future. And so that should be a really cool space. You'll also see the Coworking Space on the right, and above it is a small training room, which will be about a 20 to 30 person size room. So I'm really, really excited about this, and so if you guys would do this now or later, but take out your phones and go to sovainnovationhub.com/CSTA. The building is not opening until the end of this year, but we have our first program ready to go. And so the Southern Virginia chapter of the Computer Science Teachers Association is now official, and that's something we've been working with Code Virginia and Jeremy and others to get live. And so I have the Institute's logo here as well. For those of you guys who don't know, Code Virginia already works with the Institute to deliver trainings each year for computer science teachers. This represents an additional program to complement that and work together to help to empower our computer science teachers across the region. But it's not just for computer science teachers. We hope economic developers and businesses with interest in this will also join. Membership is free, and so, like I said, please go to this website and join for us. The reason that we care so much about building the capacity of computer science teachers is because we want to deliver more capacity from our students, or to our students. And so these logos are some examples of programs that are already in place through TechSpark and Jeremy's efforts with the 5 school systems in the TechSpark region. So Mentor Role Model, Girls Who Code, these are different computer science programs, or I guess Mentor Role Model is a program that now is delivering computer science programming. TEALS is a program to bring computer science into every high school. It's in those 5 TechSpark counties. Would love to see it rolled out into all of the Region 3 high schools someday. Hour of Code is a program that anybody could offer, so you guys could look that up and offer that in your communities. First Robotics is another program that builds in computer science as well as entrepreneurship that MBC supports, and so that's another program that we hope to see grow. The next area of programming that we'll be working towards, that we're in conversations with, Jeremy's working with Virginia Ed Strategies, and then we're also in conversations with the Higher Education Center about different work-based learning programs. One might be having IT students actually working out of the SOVA Innovation Hub, letting the Microsoft Experience Center be the location of their internship. And then there's some other work-based learning strategies that we're trying to help our local superintendents work through to meet the state's mandates around that. The next area would be digital skills for businesses. And so this starts to overlap a little bit with the entrepreneurship and innovation work with Longwood and the Longwood SBDC. But we're in the talks now of how we can deliver digital skills for business workshops out of the SOVA Innovation Hub. That would represent designing new curriculum for the SBDC. It's not a workshop that they currently offer. And so we're looking for ideas and input into that. And then you see cards on your table for the Coworking Space survey. And so although we know that we're already building a coworking space in Southern Virginia, there's still lots of questions that we have about what the pricing should be, what types of people would want to use it. Is it going to be more businesses or nonprofit collaborators? Is it going to be people really wanting to start businesses or wanting to use offices for remote working? We're not sure. And so we also know, again, overlapping with the entrepreneurship and innovation work with the SBDC, that there's interest in this across the region. And so we went ahead and worked with the council and with Liz and are doing this survey to cover the whole region so we can start to get some data to share with the communities across the footprint. And so that's live now. So if you guys would, many of you have already received an email about it. If you haven't, please check out the website and share it among your channels. The more data that we have, the more helpful it'll be, not just for us, but for each of you. So the data is trackable by zip code. And so that means that we can tell you from your county how many people responded and what they want to see out of a co-working or makerspace. So in terms of the capacity building grant itself, we are partially complete. Our official end date is June 30th, but we'd like to be wrapped up before then. We did have impact makers conduct a program study for us. We've had an advisory committee formed that will be convened again as we kind of bring all this data back together. We held a workforce partners event last year, actually a year ago tomorrow. We've done business engagement. Again, that is where our overlap continues to happen. We've continued to work with our higher education partners, and the co-working survey continues through this month. And so there is a little bit of urgency in sharing that card on your table and that link out into your social media and so on. The economic impact reports are done, and the architectural design is done. So I gave them your email, Jeremy. Everyone take a photo. So if you guys have any questions, please feel free to ask now, or I'll be around for the rest of the day.